Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're on time. I thought we weren't going to be. You are with us on First Friday Live. Can you believe we're already in June 2026? And I thought our guest was going to be late, but you're never late until you're late. And this gentleman is never late, although he is on time. His name is Carinder, and I'm going to introduce him to you in a minute. But before I do, if you've not seen our First Friday Live episodes, then pop onto our YouTube channel and you'll find them all there. Also, don't forget the Accessibility Partners and Inclusion Podcast, where there are many more episodes of all sorts of genres from our clubhouse rooms on Monday, on Motivational Monday at 7 o'clock. If you get up at that time, you should pop onto Clubhouse. There's an entire back catalogue of our rooms there for the last 3 to 5 years, and you'll find MJ's house there. And then here, First Friday Live at 5 every month, you will find us here with a fantastic guest. And tonight it's Carinder, and Carinder is from the Between Signals podcast, and I was invited to speak with Carinder just a few months ago. We've had some fantastic episodes together. I am so excited to introduce you to this human that I got to know on social media, and because we are both disabled. So if you are into all things disability and you're into all things inclusion, then you've got to meet Carinder Mahli, and that's going to happen right now. We have an hour together, everyone. I am so excited to introduce you to the human themselves. Carinder, good evening, Carinder. Good evening, good evening. Can you hear me? You can hear me. See me, I can see you, and I can hear you. And also, for anyone who wants to, they can read your name there, and they can read my name here, and they can also see right below here that we've got First Friday Live at 5. So if you don't know where you are, guys, you are absolutely live on social media, on Facebook. I see there's some people arriving, and on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and just about everywhere, including here in our studio on StreamYard. So I think we've only got an hour together, and it always goes faster than I ever want it to, Carinder. But in the first instance, I think that our colleagues, our guests, our friends, the people that know where we are, really want to know, who is Carinder? Who are you?
Well, basically, I'm a disability campaigner for the easily and also for anything between digital podcast and CEO of the podcast, and also the one on LinkedIn, the most popular one, or as MJ Lincoln is a find on our YouTube channel, which is between digital podcast and also around the world.
Well, I mean, what aren't you? I love the fact that you have the Between Signals podcast, and that you are such, a powerhouse across the internet. I know when I came on your podcast, there were some fantastic questions in the chat, which I'm really not very good at doing two things at once, Carinder. I can do one thing at once, which is talk to you. But what I love about you is that you are all things inclusion, you're all things accessibility, and you also have a great number of your community who identify as having either neurodivergence or a learning disability. And so you've naturally gone into that role of disability campaigner. And I think been some really interesting changes, particularly in the last 2 days, about deprivation of liberty and what is determined as deprivation of liberty. And now, instead of, when somebody is incarcerated and can't leave and are being observed, that the rule used to be, the acid test was, are you incarcerated? Can you leave the building? Are you being observed? Are you being monitored? If you are, then we have exerted deprivation of liberty. However, 2 days ago, The changes in the law have meant that it's now a gilded cage. You know, it's a golden color.
The law is still, the law is still going on about that. It's not finished. They say it's like painted, but it's still carrying on. Because when it is ministering people, when it is ministering minors are saying, okay, we are doing what we can. We are saying, okay, this is who we are. This is who, but we are getting frustrated because they're not listening.
They're not.
They're not
I would
listening
agree.
to us.
I would.
And
I would
we're not
agree.
here, we're not here saying, please, come on, push it. We need you. And they go,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
I go, okay. You want this, you want that, you want this department, you want that department. Please, come on. You know what? Get done, and bring it out.
Absolutely. And let's bring all of those disparate parts of disability support together. I mean, over the last few years, what do you think have been the most positive changes for disabled people? If we can look on the bright side for a moment.
First of, first of all, get everything going. If you're not happy with your get the petition. There's so many petitions online that are full, right? Many years ago, right? That when we had no internet, right? We had to go out,
Yeah, we
right?
did on the streets.
Yeah. And we had to protest
We did.
on the street. And that is still going on. That is
It
not
is.
changed, right? But now there is online. There is a petition now. People don't need to like papers anymore. You can go online, get a petition done, and then print it off. That is so easier than doing like paperwork and then when you that and then long time ago. That is how the internet changed.
So you think that's a positive thing for disabled people that we can meet each other, communicate and speak our mind and speak up for what we want
Yeah,
online
mm,
together in groups. Do you
yeah.
think we're more powerful together?
I think we are. We are definitely powerful, because many years ago, right, as there was no internet, right, there was nothing. There was
It was difficult to communicate, wasn't it?
no mobile, there was no iPad, and we were not. Definitely. And also, it was like madness.
It was very difficult. You've just
Right?
broken up a little there.
People
Oh, I think your internet just might be on that conversation
no,
of the
yeah,
World Wide Web.
no,
Ah, you're
no,
back.
but,
You're
no,
back.
but, no, like I was saying, right? People do not use brain. People need to use it. More of it, more of it, more of that, use it. This is what you're thinking. This one, like Paul Robbie for that, use it more.
Think more together, I think. I
Mm,
think when we think together,
together. Yeah,
I think we're powerful. And I think for me, the changes of the internet mean that I speak to disabled people all over the world. I'm sure you do.
yeah. Like from Australia, USA, Malaysia, Singapore, India,
Exactly.
China.
Exactly.
That is the most important one, right? If you look at Brazil, right, they say that, oh, when disabled people do not have benefits.
Nope.
But I say, who the hell is you are? You're not having any, you are like having any disabled places.
Yep, the differences between countries and what our opportunities are and what provision is for us is wildly different. If you look at Australia at the moment, they're having massive cuts to their care and support packages in the community, and many disabled people are being stuck in hospitals because they can't go home
Mm.
because their care and support is too expensive. And actually, Corinda, I'm seeing it in the UK too. A social worker, and I'm training to be one, as you know, when they do a care and support assessment, it shouldn't be that how much it's going to cost determines whether that person gets care and support at home. And yet, often, if a care and support package is quite large, it can be questioned about its cost. And I do think that our rights, there's so much work to do about the fact that just because a place might seem okay for us, it might not be where we thrive. So I want to make sure that the disabled people, when we are housed in the community, are housed in places and spaces where we thrive. We don't just survive. And not everybody's got their own family to live with. So we have to
Yeah,
rely on
yeah,
support, don't we?
yeah. I mean, if you look at the parliament, if you look at what is there, if you look at what being done and what being done, we need to know for ourselves. Okay, this is the right thing to do, this is what we want, this is what we want, and this is what. We have a fine line. Who, how, why, when, where. That is more
Absolutely.
important. People do not use that.
Do you not think so? Enough.
No.
No, I
They don't use it. I have seen it online. I have seen it on LinkedIn, right? People have put posts and say, oh, why this? Why that? Why are we this? Why are we that? They're, they're answering every question. You know is your friend, right? You know knows everything.
hmm,
Why put it on the LinkedIn professional platform, professional stuff, put it on there and say, okay, this is what it is.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we've got a lot of information at our fingertips, haven't we? And
Mm.
actually at our voice control now, because we can speak
Mm.
to our AI bots and they will speak back to us. Do you think for those listening, if you were talking to, I don't know, another disabled person or a family with somebody with a disability, do you think that there's anything that you'd suggest as a quick win or a good thing to know or something that somebody might not know that they could do with knowing right now? I can think of one, for instance. I'll give you one. I work with the access
Yeah,
to work. Yeah, go on. You go first.
no, I
Have you
was saying, right, for people who are listening, we need to step up. Step up. Don't wait. We need to be awake. And we need to step up and get going.
I couldn't agree more. I believe that a lot of disabled people are feeling
Mm.
very, very down, very downtrodden,
Mm.
very like they're not winning, very much like it's
Mm.
over before it's even begun. But I agree with you, Corinda. I think stepping up, stepping out, and being together and being out and loud about the fact that we have
Mm.
rights and responsibilities in this world. And I was about to say to, as a quick win for people is that currently I work with something called Access to Work in the UK, which helps people who want to thrive in work. But did you know that Access to Work is available for self organized work opportunities? So if you sat here today and said, I'd like to organize myself a work opportunity with your company, Mandy Jane, I would say, Corinda, We can bring you for a work opportunity. That doesn't mean we pay you, it's an internship, but we can give you an opportunity to work with us, and we can apply for access to work to help you with the beyond reasonable adjustments you need to work with our organization. And I don't think disabled people know that they can self-organize a work
yeah,
opportunity and apply for access to work.
yeah.
I think that's
I mean, I
fantastic.
just saw it in the comment.
Yeah,
I mean, I just saw it in the comment about one line. He said, "I'm glad to meet like people." That is true. That is absolutely true. There is a lot of people out there,
there
and
are.
people, some people are rude. Definitely, don't get me wrong. I see on the news, right? People just say, "Oh, look at his money out. Look at his money out. Oh, let's party him," right?
And by the way, Sarah, of course you're allowed to swear. The way that you speak is entirely up to you. It's great to see you
Mm,
both, and you, Fred, and it's great to see you, Summer Cooler. How lovely to see you here. And yes, we're glad to
mm,
meet you too. And hey, Frederick from Kenya, you're a permaculture practitioner and environmental educator.
mm,
How wonderful! How wonderful! So I think there's a lot of important small wins we can make. I agree with you, Carinder. Speak up, speak out, step up, step out. Use your brain and work together, connect with other disabled people, and speak openly about the fact that we all deserve a life that we deem is worth living. Wouldn't you agree? So,
oh yeah,
you,
oh yeah, massively.
yeah, you describe yourself as a storyteller and a campaigner. So what I'd like to know, and I'm sure everyone in this live wants to know, what does your typical week look like? What do you do with your week, Corinda? Do you get up like me at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Well, for me, straight away, I put my key, Netflix, go on my email, reply to
Emails.
people, go out
Yep.
there,
Yep.
campaign, and I just saw your message, Sarah, but I'm not in that in a minute, right? And then just like, do what people want.
That's fantastic. We were just asked in the chat there because you've taught me how to look at the chat whilst talking there, Corinda. So thank you
Mm,
for that.
yeah,
We learn from each other every day. Is
mm,
what accessibility campaigns is your organisation currently working on? Well, our organisation, Accessibility Partners, and there's a QR code rather in the corner up there if you do want to join us. What we're working on at the moment is what we call the Disabled Ultrapreneurs Club. And the reason that we
mm,
do that is because I, as a teacher, a Senko, a therapist, and now a social worker in training, I have worked with thousands and thousands of young people and older people in further and higher education. And what I learned was that we can do all the learning we want, but as for us being involved with the workplace or getting a job, that can be really hard. But something that
mm,
every disabled person in the UK can do, and that's whether they're on welfare benefits or not. So if they're on employment support allowance and they've never worked in their life, if they're on personal independence payment, if they're in receipt of universal credit, every single one of them, if they want to, can register as self-employment for self-employment. And it's so important that people are allowed to do what they love what they do. Like Carinder has developed their fantastic podcast, and I'm on social media. I speak around the world on accessibility and
mm,
inclusion. I also do a job helping people to thrive in work, and I. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad you've seen somebody talk and look at the chat. Carinder taught me how. Um,
mm.
why is accessibility important to our businesses or services? Well, for me,
Right, I
and
went on for that. So,
go on, you do it, you do
yeah,
it.
so thank you for that, someone in the chat. Why is it I have important for you or making it service? Because if you have not a healing pain, you are deaf, or you need ear, or you're blind, or you cannot see, or you need accessible is supported by you. It's not from anyone else. Anyone else can say it, but it's from you. People see you. You are in the
Abs-
wheelchair. People see you in the wheelchair. That is accessible. When you look in the shop, they are accessible shops. That is what accessible means. It's
It
by
is
you. It's
to the
by
person.
what you, who you are.
100%. It does
Mm.
define us. It defines where we go, what we can access, what we can't access, what we're allowed to do. And it's important to businesses and services because actually there's 387 trillion pound trapped in the purple pound. And the purple pound is like the pink pound. The pink pound is for the gay community and the purple pound is for our disabled community. And there is
Mm.
trillions of pounds trapped in disabled people not being able to do what they want to do, i.e., what they love and what they're good at. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I know. As I told Carinder in the chat, oh, if you click on my comment, you can bring it on the screen. Well, I didn't know that either. You see, I am learning every single day from all of you.
Everyone
How
knows that.
you did do that. You taught me that. There we are. You did. I can put it on the screen. Well done. And I'm going to ask another question. Let's have a look. Let me see. I think we're there. Apart from the fact that, of course, you can, Sarah. On you go. Uh, I think we'll probably get to some of those swear words
Well,
later when we have this deeper conversation.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you want to leave as your legacy in this space, Carinder? What do you want people to say when you've shuffled off this mortal coil?
So, like, better experiment. Do your research. Don't just stand there and do nothing. Be a professional campaigner.
A professional
And
campaigner. You
all,
are a professional campaigner.
so if people want to become a campaigner, first of all, right, set up your goal, set up your MP, do your
Yes.
forward, do a
Yeah.
forward, go to study, go to school. That's how I become. I went to school, I went to college, I told my MP, I told everyone. I met the council, that is how I become a campaigner.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly right. I think our MPs are underutilized actually. And for
Mm.
every one of our individuals that we support in accessibility partners, when the government don't provide what we need for them, we go directly to their MP and we
Mm.
ask their MP to help us with that. We do
I've
every
been
time.
doing
So
it
you've
now.
written to your MP, Linda,
Oh yeah, a lot. A
a lot.
lot.
I like that. I like the
Mm.
fact that you've written to them a lot. I like to be on first name terms with all of our MPs. I wrote to them all
Mm.
at once last year in one email and said, "Why don't we talk?" And they said, "No, I can only talk to you about individual constituents." So now I write to them about every single individual
For
constituent.
me, it's easy. They know I'm a campaigner. So every email I write to them, done. They say, okay, what you want to talk about? What you want to do this? I say, we
Ah,
need to do
fantastic.
that. I say, we need to sort out. Yesterday, I told to them, why are the buses have hearing you? Straight away, right, and this morning, no one speaks to me.
That's what I like to hear. So if we need anything doing,
Mm.
Corinda, we just come to you and we get you to lobby our MPs. It's lovely to see
Mm.
Ian, who is in the chat. It's lovely to see Ian. He is a wonderful friend of mine. And
I'm just looking at this comment. How do disability people help shape your accessibility plan? Wow.
well,
That's really-
what about you? Do you want to go first or shall I?
Wow, I know that. So basically, job, job, job. That's what I say, right? Because some households don't even think about disability action plan,
They don't.
accessibility plan, right? I had them, right? You are, right? You can use with me. I think you can really campaign now. You know what I said? Oh, sorry, we haven't got enough money. I got, excuse me, you've got so much money in yourself, right? The house has got so much money, and you're saying that we haven't got any money. I thought, well, you know, how did you are saying that, oh, sorry, doesn't have any money.
Mm. I wonder whether they've got enough money or maybe they just haven't put some of their money into accessibility and inclusion planning. What do you think? Do you think they're selecting not to put the money in those pots?
I think they're being lazy. That's what I say. Think. They're absolutely lazy.
Think they're lazy. I love that. I like the fact you think they're lazy and not decisive. I'm glad you think that they just
Mm,
haven't been bothered as opposed to they've decided not to support us. I'll be honest with you,
mm,
Carinder, I've been looking for an accessible placement in Wales for 18 months, and I'm going to finally get my final placement, we think, in Birmingham, which is, of course, not in Wales. How crazy is that? It's lovely to see Ian
mm.
thinking it. I also think that perhaps they are a bit of a mess. I'd say that some of
Yeah.
our planning is a bit of a
I
shit
need a
show.
comment. I need a comment.
I can see the comment. And I think it is
Yeah.
a bit of a shit show to be a bit more polite than the comment, which says it's a complete cup.
Mm,
That's what the comment says. So
yeah.
the legacy I want to leave, Corinda, is that we
Mm,
all have a voice. We all have a
yeah.
space and a place at the table, and we all have an opportunity to be able to do what we love,
Mm.
love what we do, and to have experiences like this, run our own podcast, speak to each other,
Yeah,
speak up
this is a lot. Yeah.
intimately. Yeah.
And also get out there. Make
Yeah.
this a
We
room.
must get out there. And like you say, I think education, education, education. Go to school, go to college, learn the skills, learn how to run your own computer,
Yeah.
learn how to podcast and teach me how to be in the chat and on the live at the same time, like Corinda
Mm.
did. With you, I am learning on a daily basis. What improvements would I like to see across the UK for disabled people? Well, the first thing I'd like them to do is learn how to be disabled, Corinda, because
Yeah.
I don't think we're taught about welfare benefits. I don't think we're taught about work.
I think also, right, I think also the parliament needs to have access to
Well,
this
that would
stuff.
help, wouldn't it? That would
Yeah,
help. Instead of
parliament, I can say to
absolute
them, I can
local
say,
authorities.
please have this access to parliament. This is what
Yeah.
we need. If you
And
look
how
at,
about some disabled people in Parliament? How
yeah,
about some of us actually being in Parliament? What about that?
yeah, exactly. And I have seen, right, on the news, I don't know if you saw it, MJ, but an disability robot in the parliament, actual robot in the parliament.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I could, I don't know that if someone
Yeah.
gets there, right, there is an actual robot in the House of Lords
Wow.
speaking. And I thought, hang on, if that robot, AI robot, can do that, why can't we do that? We should be able to do that.
Well, how very true. How very
Mm.
true. If we can have a robot in Parliament, why haven't we got disabled people? Well, I do wonder. Ian's just saying in the chat that MPs at times perhaps ignore requests unless it fits into their political agenda.
It's not a agenda, it's everything. Minute, listeners, they forget, they know why. They are so busy on their mind doing stuff, they forget things. They forget who they are, because they forget us as a disability campaigners. They forget us. They don't know who we are. They don't know exactly who we are, what we do, and why we're doing it.
So we need
That's
to be louder.
exactly, yeah, they need to be
Need to
known
be
now.
loud. Louder and
That is
prouder.
why, that is why people, as I said earlier, people should make a petition online. Make it. I can make it, and they can make it Ian or Sarah or anyone can make a petition and send it off.
So you think a petition, and what do you think that petition should be about?
Make sure that we are getting the best right.
Rights for disabled people, yeah?
Yeah,
Maybe the ones that we already have in the human rights, right? We have these human rights,
yeah,
don't we? I know we're not part of
mm,
Europe anymore, but we still have our European human rights. And perhaps
yeah,
if we just
exactly.
manage to secure those, like getting on a
Yeah,
bus, getting on a train, getting on a plane, being able to access
mm,
restaurants. What about being able to have more than one seat at the cinema? How about me
exactly.
going to a theatre and being able to sit next to my disabled friend? And not
Yeah,
just having one wheelchair space. How about having two wheelchair spaces? Because
yeah,
sometimes my friends are in wheelchairs too, and we want to sit together.
mm,
It's not a big thing to ask, is it?
no, it's not.
It's
And also, right, I have seen on buses, right, I have seen on people with wheelchairs who cannot go on the bus because they're sweating, right? On the bus sign, it says wheelchair priority. Please make space for a wheelchair, right? And what they do, fill up buses, they all fold it up, which they're supposed to, and they go there, and the wheelchair comes through. What's that all about?
It's like when you get on a train, and in my wheelchair space, there's always suitcases. And when I get on, I say, well, that's an interesting looking disabled person I can see there. I have a
Yeah,
feeling that particular disabled person, which is clearly a suitcase, might be able to live somewhere else on this train and maybe
yeah,
not the only place that I've got.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Absolutely. So a bit more thoughtfulness maybe from people.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
the
is
thing
the
is
little.
that, yeah, it is. I mean, I'm looking at Ian's comment right now, like, in a matter of really matter, like, equal quantity. It is level 9, quantity of 9, because people don't understand what disabled people is about. And people do not know, okay, you are disabled, you need this. You are disabled, you need that. They don't. All
They
they
don't.
have not is themselves.
Absolutely, people don't know. And Kate Caruth has just said in the chat that in Norwich Theatre has changed its seating so it can lift out seats for it, so a wheelchair user can sit with their friends, which is fantastic. And
Yeah,
I love
that should be there all the time. That should be there all the time. Not just one cinema. Not just two cinema. It should be there every cinema.
so we should have some standardized practices across the board then.
Yeah,
That would mean that people have to be told that when they're not doing it right, that they've got to get it right. Yeah.
that has to be.
And that needs
And
people like you and me.
And people with heart as well, right? I think people who took the wheelchair, some people take wheelchairs, but they'll stuff it in. I've seen that. My friend, right, who has gone the bus from my centre, he went on the car, this
Yeah.
taxi, he was a taxi, car was not lifting it or up down, they'll jump it in. They'll put the seat out, they'll jump it, and that's it.
You see, I've found lots of taxis nowadays. I don't know about you, but when I have to get a wheelchair accessible taxi, very many of the drivers will waive their medical certificate and say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't get the ramp out. Well, I'll be honest, if you're going to have a wheelchair accessible taxi, you really need to be able to pull the ramp out and put it back in.
Or have someone with you. Or have someone with
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. If you can't pull the ramp out, maybe you need access to work and then you can have somebody to help you pull your ramp out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
no excuse to wave your certificate about. You see, Corinda, you
yeah.
come up with the answers. You come up with the answers. You
Mm,
really do. Really, really do. And I love the fact that we can sit together in some spaces and places. In fact, our charity inclusion went to a place called Boat Mobility in the Cotswolds,
mm,
and we all went onto a canal boat. And my friend, who's totally blind, drove that canal boat down the canal, even though he's totally blind with some assistance.
mm.
And did you know that in the UK, the UK Motorsports UK is now doing 4 disability days for disabled
Yes,
drivers?
yes,
Yeah, they're fantastic. I'm looking forward to
yeah.
joining one of those. The other thing I want to do, Corinda, if you know anyone in the future, is I'd quite like to start disability wheelchair boxing. So if you know anyone,
There is one. There is so many. There is so many.
well, there
That
you go.
person, Colin, right? He's a wheelchair boxer. Check it out. He's a wheelchair boxer.
You can
Yeah,
send me a link. You can send me a link, so I can be a boxer in the future.
yeah.
Ian was just saying that he would love to go to a performance of a Shakespeare or Swan Lake, and somewhere I went again was the Royal Shakespeare Company. You know, that wonderful theatre. But let me tell you this: although they can take some seats out, if you book at the
Mm,
Royal Shakespeare Theatre, you have to book 72 hours in advance because it takes them 3 days to get their handymen to unscrew the seats and lift them out. So we always why is Corinda always looking on the right? I don't know why maybe because
because
he
I'm
is
looking at
right.
the chat. I'm looking at the chat.
Ah, you're looking at the chat. There we are.
Yeah.
So Corinda's looking deeply at the chat. That's why. And
I'm
yeah,
looking
I
at the
think Ian,
comment.
you're looking at the comments, which I think is amazing that you're looking at the
Mm,
comments. But you taught me to do it whilst I was chatting. Although I'm not
yeah.
looking at the others on social media, so I'm hoping they're all coming through. They're coming through from LinkedIn. They're coming through from YouTube. I haven't seen. Yep, there we are. I haven't seen any from Facebook yet. Maybe that was a Kate Caruth one. But I
Mm,
think that the Royal Shakespeare Theatre really wants some disabled people to go and visit it because then maybe they'll understand that we'd quite like to book tickets, maybe on the same night. You never know.
mm.
But at least they do take the seats out, and at least we can go to those
And
performances.
when you say that I'm not even confident enough to admit the therapy
Yeah, to
performance
go.
yet.
Yeah, I
Ian,
think
let me tell you this. You said you're not confident enough, but get supported. Get
get
some
support.
support as well. MJ will help you with confidence. I will definitely help you with confidence. That's what we need. People like us to show them what confidence is.
Yes, and how to just put it out there, get out there, be who we are,
Mm,
be exactly who we are, wherever we go, and be 100% us. I think when we
mm,
show up and we turn up and we are who we are, then I believe that gives people confidence without a doubt, Corinda. You give me
yeah,
confidence without a doubt.
mm,
Yes, actually, we use all. There's a comment there just asking if we give SMS text support. Actually, we will talk pretty much by any medium. We'll talk by Signal because some people don't like WhatsApp because it's not encrypted. We will talk by WhatsApp. We will talk by
mm,
email. We will talk by voice phone. We will talk by voice message. So pretty much, if there's a way of communicating, we help people communicate. And of course, for our deaf and blind participants,
mm.
we also then use the text talk.
But let me tell you this much, right? I'm going to come to
Yeah,
your question in a minute. I saw your question, but going back to the SMS text support, not many companies use it. I mean, this is a co-op. Tesla. You're not using SMS text. I mean,
they
come
don't.
on. We are asking, please, can you use SMS? That's fine. You have most many people. They're also not using it. When
No,
it ends with companies who, yes, or people like lip reading, use SMS.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there isn't even a reason now for somebody who speaks a different language not to be communicated with. The other day, I was in a supermarket and a gentleman
Mm.
who spoke a different language. He came from Dubai. And I said, well, you don't know what he's saying, but you can use your chat GTP to translate what he's saying. He can write
Yeah.
it can translate it, and then you can write it, and then it can translate it. And we managed to work out that he needed large plastic glasses for his party that was happening on a patio, and he needed the
Oh,
plastic ones. And off they went and got them, but he didn't speak a word of English. And that's the same as if we can't see, or if we can't hear, or if we've got to text. Many of my
yeah.
clients who don't read will listen to my texts using their speech to text engine on their phone. So I will text them and they will listen to it because they find it easier to listen than they do to read. So there we are. Oh, we've got another one. Ian is just
Mm.
saying that
And
he's going to be.
going back to that comment,
Oh,
going
yes,
back to
sorry.
that comment,
Yes,
I all explain to you hearing you system correctly. No, they are not. Fucking,
hardly any,
they're not. Definitely.
hardly any,
Hardly any. People with hearing
hardly.
aids. Come on. People with hearing aids. People hard to hear. Why is it so hard to have a hearing aid in a building? All it is, just one person, put it on, and then that's it. What's hard
Absolutely.
about that?
What's difficult about that? It's so easy
Yeah,
not to do these very simple things, isn't it? It's easy to do,
yeah.
but it's so easy not to do. And I
Well,
think unless they have a deaf person in their building, it's not even thought about, a bit like
yeah.
wheelchairs. They don't think that local authority social services need to be wheelchair accessible. Well, that's a
Mm,
bit of a surprise to me.
that's
Yeah,
true.
it's lovely to hear that Ian's looking forward to presenting his work, and I know that Ian actually writes beautifully. He writes
Yeah,
poetry and he writes
yeah,
prose,
yeah.
so I'm looking
But
forward to hearing him.
on that, I am saying now,
Yeah,
many companies are using hearing aids, right?
starting to.
Yeah, not all of them, but
No,
you know, Costa, when you have the coffee
yes,
and the reception, they are
yes.
using Sainsbury's, Tesco's never, Tesco says, oh, we're not bothered,
I
Asda
like the
says, we're
way
not
you're
bothered,
naming them. I like the way you're naming them.
mm. But
Yeah,
it is
Tesco,
true.
do a bit better.
It is true. People need to start using attachment medicine fixtures,
They do.
right?
I agree with you.
Because
It shouldn't be an
they
add-on.
need to know they in a buses now. People who sit right on the back. And when they hear that the driver, what they say, when they sit right at the back, I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely, which is why I always sit myself right at the front of anywhere I can get in order that I can
Mm,
see, hear, and understand and read the text of whatever's going on.
mm,
So we've only got about 15 minutes left. But
mm,
I've got a magic question. If you could change one policy in the government about disabled people, and there's hundreds, I know, but if you could choose
mm.
one, what would it be that everyone must use hearing loops, or would there be another one that you'd choose?
No, I would say use all the accessible medicine features. SMS, hearing you easily,
Ramps,
fail, lift, run,
lifts, ramps,
yeah, yeah,
toilets that are
mm,
accessible that I can get in,
yeah,
changing room toilets
mm,
everywhere. Why have we not got a changing room toilet in every
exactly,
public building?
mm.
Do you know what I mean by that?
And
Ones that have
also,
waste.
yeah, point, yeah, but not everyone has it, right? There is a website which I'm going to put in the chat, and like,
Thank you.
um, if someone is changingplaces.org.
That's
Go on
right, where you
there.
can find
See,
out where the toilets are.
yeah,
Yeah, I
get
have
on there.
families.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have families that go on holiday to towns that have a changing places toilet so that they can change when they are out and about in the community, because many of the individuals I support, do you know, we don't go to the toilet when we're out and about because
Mm.
it's almost impossible to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the toilet before we leave, and then we have to wait before we come home before we can go to the toilet again. But
Mm.
with that changing places website, you're absolutely right. You can find out where there's a toilet with a hoist, which is like some sort of miracle, isn't it? It's like finding
Mm.
a unicorn on the street, isn't it?
Mm. Even the shop now, they also find it. If you look at Tesco, right, they also find it. Co-op, making co-op, the big massive supermarket, right, like this. And it's like, you see many people, the rules are like that. I didn't believe that, the rules are like that. How can you fit the wheelchair into that door?
You can't.
You
Do you know the
can't.
other day I was I was in Cardiff, and I wanted to go to the one of the clubs where there's a bingo on, and what do you call it when you sing at the pub? Karaoke
Yeah,
night and
yeah.
bingo. And it's everybody there are dressed up. They're all drag. They're all in drag, right? And I desperately wanted to go. I looked on the website and it said, "We've got a disabled toilet. Call us before you come." And I got there, and there were steps up. So I went to the man and I said, "Excuse me, can you show me how to get in? Because I know you do have accessible facilities inside." And he said,
Yeah.
"No, no, we do have a disabled toilet, but we don't have any way for you to get in."
What?
So there
I
was
mean,
there was, there was stairs at the front, there was stairs at the back, but there was an accessible toilet for those people that could walk up the stairs.
mm. I mean, what
Yeah.
do you
If
mean do that?
Well, you see, if people do need to go to the toilet for a number two or a poo
Mm.
or whatever you want to call it, the
Yeah.
truth is they're just going to have to sit in their wheelchair and do it there, aren't they? Until they get home. That's the truth. And where's the dignity in that, Carinder?
There's none. There's none. Absolutely
No,
none.
none. And I don't think that able-bodied people would be
Mm.
very pleased if we said to them, when you're in town, just do a little poo in your pants before you go home, and sit in it until you get back. You're okay with that? We've decided that's a new rule for all people who can walk. I'm
On
quite
the
sure that
man. On the man.
they would be up in arms, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have it, would they? There would suddenly be a rule about everybody being able to poo in town if able-bodied people had to do that. I really do. And why are people so rude? That was a comment. Uh, well,
Mm.
people on transport are rude, I think, because they're always in a rush,
Yeah, that
don't
was
you?
your look. Yeah. And they don't care about disability. As I said
And they,
earlier, right,
I think
that you
that.
don't care about what disability is. Now,
Well, that's because they don't know they're going to be disabled, Corinda. You see,
yeah,
I'm famous for saying you're either disabled or you're yet to be disabled, because not very many people die well in their sleep.
I only agree with Ian's comment. Sometimes it's easier to think that we are
Yeah,
made official for not assuming government building.
how true.
Absolutely true. Think the government are like the face prime minister at the moment. That's what I can say. The government is well. The government does not know what they talk about. They like Keir Starmer. What at the moment?
You're using a rude word to me there now. That's the
Mm,
biggest rude word we've had for the last hour.
mm,
And of course, the government should be setting an example, a perfect example. And the example they're setting is that they don't care. and they don't mind that we're excluded. And that actually, I think you're right, Carinder. We need to get
Mm,
loud and together, and we need to actually start campaigning together. And I agree with the next
mm,
comment that in the pub, it's hardly seen that it's normal for us to go to the pub, is it? Have you ever had somebody say,
mm.
"Oh, hello, how nice you're out"? Have you ever had that? Isn't it nice that you've come out today? Isn't that lovely?
No, no, I have seen many pubs, I can't it right here. I have seen many pubs that get out. You're not welcome. You're not in
No,
wheelchair.
really.
You're not in wheelchair. Get out.
I've actually known it in London where they've said it's a bit busy, and I've said to them, "You're all right. I know my bum does look big in this, but it's no bigger than
Mm.
somebody else's bum. I won't take up any
Yeah,
more space than your ordinary person. I'm coming in." But I agree with you. I've had them say, "Oh, it's a bit busy for you to come in here." Well, if I can roll in, you can walk in. It's the same difference. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Corinda.
yeah.
I really do. And even a
And I
guide dog
think,
not being allowed.
yeah,
Yes.
like
Oh,
God, there's
yeah, in a car.
taxis, taxis now. When people get it like God, right? I agree with you, Sarah. People when get like God, right, in the transport, they say, sorry, you don't know, he doesn't like God.
Absolutely. I've seen it with support dogs, with guide dogs, and actually we're helping
Mm,
a taxi firm locally with that challenge. And as I said to them, look,
mm,
if somebody has a dog with them or a support animal, and it's a support
mm.
animal, then what difference is it if you're taking a support animal or you're taking one to the vet? I mean, how do
Yeah,
people get their animals to a vet if they don't have a car? What
certainly,
are they expected to do?
certainly,
Walk with them? Yeah.
yeah. An
Yeah. No,
animal is an animal.
it
Like
is.
God is a normal animal too.
It
There's
is. And
nothing, only if it's a time, right? That should be changed. Like God should be changed, right? The word like God, that should be changed.
nope. And it should be absolutely supported 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, I feel like
It
we've had
should be normal God, not like God. That
no.
should be totally changed. Format.
Absolutely. People shouldn't be denied. They shouldn't.
Mm,
And we have had an hour of putting the world to rights. We are just a few minutes left to the top of the hour.
mm,
Corinda, I want to say thank you. But the other thing I want to do is to understand if people want to come and listen to your amazing podcast and meet your amazing community, which they all do, by the way. Ian will be there
mm,
tomorrow. I can already tell. He'll be looking you up on social media. I know because he's
mm,
very good on a computer, particularly in the last few years. He's got much better at computers than
yeah.
ever before. He's been learning, and Ian's not 21. He's
You
not.
want to join me
Yeah,
and MJ? Me and MJ will be making a podcast, right? So MJ is now on my team. If you want to join us between you, there it is. Look at your YouTube channel. It's in the comments. That's our YouTube channel. Social media is at the top. I'll put it in that. Just follow MJ and I'm on MJ's list.
there we go. There we go. So we're going to find you on the Between Signals podcast. We can contact Corinda. You can just DM me and I'll pass your details on. We're going to be working together much closely, aren't we, Corinda? And
Yeah.
we've certainly had two or three exposes now on social media together. We are doing it together. We're doing it better together because we're stronger together. And it's only when we bring our voices together.
Mm,
Thank
mm.
you. Team MJ, I like that. It's a nice ring to it. But it's Team
Yeah.
Corinda and MJ, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Human friendly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And your community is fantastic. I really do. I celebrate every comment that we've had on every podcast we've done so far. And we're going to be
Mm,
talking about those really gritty things, as we have already, about all the things that disabled people don't talk about, aren't we? Access
yeah.
to work and disability benefits, and how to become an activist in your own right, and how to speak up, and how you can access education, work, and training if you want to, and how you
Yeah.
don't have to just sit at home. You can do things that you want to do. You're always
Oh
active,
yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah, all the
Always.
time. I'm always out. I'm always out. I'm always out and about. I'm
You are.
always something.
And chronic
And
fatigue, just saying with Ian's comment there, chronic fatigue can be a terrible thing for disabled people to
it is.
experience.
It's
This is
not
why
just
social
that.
media,
It's like MS
it
and
is
SNE,
fibromyalgia.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is powerful.
It is powerfully painful and powerfully
Mm.
debilitating, but at least, social media is a way that you can lie in your bed, turn on a podcast, listen to people like Carinder and I, and really access some fantastic information without having to leave even your own bed. So if you are laid in bed at the moment, you can always pop onto the YouTube, onto the Between
Mm.
Signals podcast, onto the accessibility partners and inclusion podcast, onto Clubhouse on a Monday morning at 7 a.m., or come to First Friday Live, which is the first Friday of every month, and it's at
Yeah.
5. People
Right.
can't work. Oh,
And
and
what way was at the end of everything?
well, I think that perhaps the UK at the moment is what I might refer to as a shit show. I think,
Yeah.
Corinda, shit show is probably the way I would refer to UK politics,
Then,
to
yeah,
UK disability benefits. It's crap. You'd say it's crap. So it's a
yeah,
crap shit show. It's all about the poo today.
yeah,
That's what it is. And I think maybe we
yeah,
could say that for at the moment, disability inclusion's a bit of a poo, but we're going to make it. Well,
yeah,
we're going to shine it up and make it sparkly, aren't we? And we're going to make it.
yeah.
We're going to make it better for disabled people. The more we do this kind of thing, and the more we
Mm.
talk about it and share why it is that we need access and inclusion. Have you
Mm.
got
Oh,
anything
yeah.
else to say? I bet you have.
No, I absolutely agree with you. It is. The government at the moment, I hardly see on the Parliament YouTube, right? They're playing on a committee. Why aren't they?
Exactly. We haven't got the right people in the right place yet, but I have a
Mm.
feeling that Corinda's up and coming. Oh, have you got one? Yes, you can have one more question. Of course you can.
Yeah. What's the question?
What's the question? Come on. We've had the last swear word of the month.
Yeah,
Maybe that needs to be a new ending to my first Friday live at 5.
yeah.
So people can find you on your Between Signals podcast. They can contact you on social media. I've got you on Instagram. Okay. Why are they giving out disability cuts in Parliament? I'll tell you why, Corinda. Because they've got, in my opinion, they've got
Mm.
this idea that if they take the money from the disabled people and then they give it back to them in a different direction, and they expect them to be workful, so go to work.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter where, they don't care what they're doing,
No,
they don't
yeah.
mind if they're happy, they don't mind if they want to, they're not bothered if it's a nice job, they're not bothered how they get there, they're not going to provide any
I,
taxis
I,
for them.
I agree. I
There'll
see
be
that
no
coming.
hearing. There'll be no hearing loop. There'll be nobody that's a sighted guide. You won't be able to have a support assistant. And don't forget, the organisation that you work for has got to pay for every reasonable adjustment and pretty much
Mm.
the beyond reasonable adjustments as well. Once we've
Yeah.
put disabled people to work and we make all the corporates pay for them, then the government hope that they won't have to pay for them or bother with them. And if they're at work, they'll be busy all day, so
You
they
know
won't
whose
need
fault is that?
support.
You know whose fault is that?
Whose
You
fault do
know
you think it
whose
is?
Ian Johnson myth. He's the
Yeah.
one that did it in the first place. And also, this Tommy Robinson, he's an idiot also. He's the one that pulled it with Ian Johnson in the first place. He did out. That's what they call it. In this division, leader.
I also believe that it began with a lady called Margaret, and
Yeah, Margaret.
her surname was Thatcher. And the
Yeah,
first thing she did was steal milk from children. Now, I don't drink milk, but I did think that children should be drinking milk when they were at school. And that was the
exactly.
very start. That was the very start. And that was way back when I was only a little dot. I'd only been
Mm.
thought about a few years. And I think we've been taking away disability rights whilst pretending to put them back at the same time since that beginning. And I think that we can
Yeah,
finish pretty much on that, in that we're not having it, are we, Carinder?
no. And
We're
also,
not.
yeah, I agree with that, Sarah. It's also total authority fault as well. Because Paulie wasn't there, right? He ain't done just me. He wasn't Paulie. Paulie Robinson, who's an EGL supporter, right?
You're getting
He's a
very
Paulie.
political now. Very
Mm.
political now. So I think that we can probably wrap it up with the
Yeah,
UK
I
government
love
are
you
not
on
doing
that.
it. And I think we should, before we start getting hate mail into the into the podcast about
Yeah,
our
like,
political.
look at me. I'm getting so many emails saying what you talking about.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's all of the Parliament's fault. I don't think it's any particular party. I think they're all in
Mm.
it together. And I think
Yeah,
often they're in it for themselves. And perhaps they're not ready to be disabled yet, but they will be soon. I can
yeah,
assure you. Because not very
yeah.
many people die well in their sleep. So, Corinda, I'm going to finish on this and I'm just going to say goodbye to our wonderful friends. It's been
Mm.
us. Corinda has been alongside me for a whole hour. I've been MJ Lace. You've been on First Friday Live at 5. And if you'd like to come back and listen to another fantastic explore into all things disability, accessibility, and inclusion, then you need to be back here next First Friday Live at 5, where we are live. I will see you all very late. You need to say
I will
goodbye,
see
Corinda.
you next week, next Friday, same time,
See
same
you next
place.
Friday. Bye. I'm going to end the stream.